Welcome back. Now in this video I'm just going to do a quick bit of tidying up because I've sort of come back to the code I did last time and want to just quickly streamline some of that stuff. But we're also going to set about making our entire website based around a single page. And what will happen is the content will be included in this main area here. That will change from page to page, but the rest of it, what you're seeing in the banner and on the side there, that will all stay the same. Okay, so I'm just going to start working with our original template, and again, if you're just picking up this tutorial, you can follow the link below and download, I think it's tutorial 7, I'll have to double check that, but there's a link to it there, you can download the files. And anyway, you'll have this as your original template, and you'll have a header which is included here. Now just with the header, I just feel it's slightly a little bit messy, so we're going to be tidying this up a little bit. But our first step is actually we're going to change from our original template. We're actually going to save this as our index page. So in other words, this is our home page, it's our primary page, and it will also be the shell within which all other content will appear. So just take that and go save as, and we're going to save that as index.php. Alright, so that's our first step. Second step now is we're going to head on over to the header, and what I actually want to do is take this category list, all this stuff here, and I actually want to move that out into another file that I can include, because the advantage of that is if I wanted to take this list of categories and in changing my layout anyway, I could then just move them easily into another location, whereas right now they're all included in my header, and if I change my layout, say now I wanted vertical navigation instead of horizontal, I wouldn't be able to easily move these. So I'm just going to take these links out, and just to start with here, I'll just tidy up this code a little bit. You can see the paragraph tag that I've got there. I'm actually just going to move that above the PHP there, and that way I don't need these two tags there. That was very lazy coding of me. And the next thing I'd like to do is take all of this stuff here that's going to generate our links, and we're going to cut that. So remove that, and we're going to put that into a new file. So I'll just go File and New, and this is PHP, so I'll need to have the tags there. So I'll paste that in there, and I'm just going to go Save As, and this will need to be a PHP file, so do the regular search through this long list. There it is. I'm just going to call this one category list, and I'm camel casing. Okay. Alright, so that's now going to contain all of our categories and our links. Back in header, I'm just now going to include category list. Oh, no, I'm not, because it doesn't want to say include. There we go, include. Category list. There we are. So that should look exactly the same. Nothing should be any different to appearance. It's just a little more streamlined now and a bit more efficient. And again, for my students, efficiency is key. We're constantly looking for stuff like this. So you can see here, still in that paragraph, there's going to be the list of categories followed by the admin link. So in terms of the visual, nothing should be any different. In fact, we'll just test that. If I return here, if I just go to index now, there you go, it looks exactly the same. Nothing has appeared to have changed, it's just become more efficient. So that's my first step there, just tidying this up. Now the next thing we're going to do is go about setting this up into a one-page site. So pretty much what's going to happen on my index page is that this main content area here, the content that appears within that div tag, that is going to change based on what page we're on, or what the user has clicked on. That's the only thing that is going to be changing on this page. Okay. So this page needs to detect what the user has done. So in my, for example, in my list of links here, you can see currently we set the links up to go to another page called category, and that's fine if you wanted to have lots of different pages, but because again I'm trying to make this site as easy as possible to maintain and to change in the future, we're going to keep it as a single page site. So I actually want this to go to the index page, so index.php. But what I'm going to do here in my get method, get array, I'm going to actually send the name of the page. So the page we're going to be going to is called category, and the category ID being sent is the ID of whichever category you're hovering over. So this will go to my index page, and in the URL it's sending 2 bits of information. It's sending the name of the page that we want to be loading into that main content area, and because we're searching through or going through our list of categories in our nav bar, it's also going to send through the ID of the category that we clicked on. Okay, so I'll just save that and just return back to the browser here and refresh. So if I click on this here, you can see it's gone back to my home page, and obviously nothing's changing because I haven't done anything else on index yet, but you can see there in my URL it said it's going to the category page and it's taking the ID of 1. Perfect, that's working. Right, so back on our index page, it's a little more complicated. First thing is actually, sorry, before I do anything, what we're ultimately trying to get here is you can see on the index page there's a great big banner image, but then when we go to subsequent pages that disappears. Again, just gives us a bit more screen real estate if the catalog gets too big, whereas on the home page there's minimal content, we just want a big eye-catching image. So it's quite common to have a very similar layout, but maybe with one image that can appear there. So basically what's going to happen is if we've clicked on a link, and you can see in the URL it said go to the page called category, so that's loading category into here, that image is not appearing. However, on the home page, because we haven't tried to go to a category page, this is appearing. So we're going to write a little bit of code to do that. So that is appearing directly below the header, but before the main content. So what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of PHP code in here. So I have to actually click on. So what we're doing here is basically we're checking to see if we have tried to visit a page other than the home page. Trying to check to see if this is visiting a page other than the home page. Okay. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to say if something is not set, and the thing that we're checking to see is that it's not set is the get array and that page. So in other words, if there's nothing in our URL saying page equals, then something's going to be included. And the thing that we actually want to have in there is our oh sorry, I didn't need to do that. Good old Notepad++ saved me the time. What we're going to do is we're actually going to include the image in there. So I've set up in the style sheet a div tag called, or a style called banner, so we're going to include that. So I'll just break out of the PHP long enough to put in my div tag. So this is class of banner. Close the div tag. Right. And in the div tag, we're just going to have the image. So image source equals, and I think there's a folder called images, and the image should be called banner.jpg. And we'll need to have an alt tag, so something like that. Okay. So that's the end of our image there. Okay, and that's the end of the div tag. So that's what happens if this is not set. Right, and then what I'll need to do is I'll need to restart the PHP below there. Okay, done. So blah blah blah. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll save that and double check. So on our home page, you can see now because the page has not been set in the URL, the get array has not been used, this image is appearing. However, if I click on a link, it is setting the page that I've tried to load in here, and therefore the image is not appearing. So that's one way of doing it. I'm sure there are plenty of others, but that's what I'm going to do. Now the next thing is we're going to use a slightly or a similar approach for our main content down here. So I'm actually just going to remove this main content because it's not doing anything. And we're going to do something very similar in that we're going to do another if statement, and if that get page thing is not set, we're going to include some home content. Otherwise, we're going to include the content of the page that was selected by the user. So the first thing, what's first? Okay, let me think. I'll put the if statement in, then we'll create the pages. No, I want you up there. There we go. Okay. So if I'm going to go with the not been set, again it's the same thing. It's that get array and its page. If that is not set, oops, sorry, I'm getting used to Notepad++ here. What we're going to do is we're going to include a page called home.php, and that's just going to have some really minimal content, like just a welcome to sheet clothing or something like that. However, if it is set, then we want to do what we want to do is include the category page, which is the only one we've got on our links at the moment. So what I'll do is set up a variable called $page. I'm going to make that equal to whatever page is set to in the get array, and then I am going to include, and this is where it gets a little bit clever, the variable .php. Okay, so we're just going to save that, and at the moment we haven't actually created home.php or anything else, so we'll better go ahead and do that. So just create a new page called, save this, called home.php. So save as. Where are we? Okay. And in here I'll just have a really basic message, no, welcome to sheet clothing or something like this, and then this is our homepage. Really complicated page. Anyway, nice and basic. And again, you can see this, particularly for my students, we're keeping the pages very small. There's obviously very little on this, and that is going to be loaded into the main content area, all going well. So I've saved that. Let's now just duck back here. If I'm on my home page, there you go, you can see it is loaded in home.php. If I try to go to one of these pages, obviously I haven't created category yet, and we're going to get an error because it can't find category.php. So back here, I'm going to create a new page called, oops, save as category.php. Where are you? And I won't put anything on there because that'll be the next video where we set up a dynamic query. So actually, I'll just put, sorry, just so you know, I'll just put the word category there. So if I save that, and now when I click on skirts, you can see it's loaded in category.php. The cool thing is it's still the index page. It doesn't matter which category I click on, it is still loading up the index page, which means that if I want to change anything in this layout, I want to change that logo, or I want to change any of this content, I only really have to do it on one page. I can, if I want to change the layout, make the stuff on the left instead of the right. If I wanted to add content, all I have to do is do it in our index page. So this is becoming like a shell that contains our whole site. So this is hopefully a very sustainable way of maintaining a website. So I'm going to stop there because this has gone on way too long, and next time we'll come back and we will look at how to set up the queries in our category page, and there'll be dynamic queries based on whatever category the user clicked on. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.